Sup, it's the Prodigy man. Today we are back with another video. This is a late night video. This will be up by the morning. But the reason why I shout out to Dad, celebrated Father's Day today. We was there for a while. We was there from like maybe 4 to like late in the 10, so we were there for quite a while. That's why this video is filming so late, and that's why my intro ain't as loud. But do what you can, and still gotta make these videos, man. Put out these bangers. I love doing this, man. So we're gonna keep going. We're gonna keep moving up the algorithm, but not to get too much into your time. Let's cut right to it. So this video is gonna be how I would book for the 7th 1v1 competition, at least for the 7th time, 9 total. Roman Reigns versus Brock Lesnar for the undisputed WWE Universal Championship. So how I would book it is, move this up. How I would book it is I would have Seth win Money in the Bank. Now, and cash in. I'm gonna say my whole thing first before I explain. I would have Seth Rollins win Money in the Bank. I would have like Roman and Brock just tired center of the ring after like the match literally almost over, of them just beating each other brutally. And then I would have Seth Rollins music play, redo the Heist of the Century. Now I know a lot of people are like, wait a minute, you're getting upset about a rematch of a rematch of a rematch of a rematch of a rematch. You're getting mad over Roman versus Brock happening one-on-one competition for the 7th time, just to have something that already happened, that is Rollins cashing in. Isn't that ironic? Yeah, it is ironic. But I'm going to tell you why. I'm going to explain. Because this is a logical explanation. Now, them going at it for the 7th time, there is no logical explanation of why they're going at it 1v1 for a 7th time. There's no explanation for that. But I will give you an explanation on what I'm thinking. So, the reason why I say that specifically Seth Rollins should win Money in the Bank is because, think about it, 3 straight losses to Cody. Like if you've taken not just 3 straight losses to Cody, 3, because losing against Cody, that's big. 3 big, because they're at pay-per-views, 3 big straight losses to Cody. And then he just beat Styles to qualify for Money in the Bank. Well, Styles hasn't had any more momentum, so him beating Styles did not rejuvenate him and rejuvenate his heel character. So the reason why I would have Seth Rollins win Money in the Bank is because the dude needs a big win. Because all those losses building up Cody, and now that Cody's injured and they can't do the original plan, which is probably going to be Cody versus Roman at SummerSlam, since Randy and Cody got hurt. Obviously things got changed, so this is how I change it. So yeah, I'd redo the whole Heist of the Century thing and have him win specifically, because considering Money in the, you can make it to where, oh hey, if you're Money in the Bank, you can only take 1 belt, considering, because they're not unified. Unified would mean there would be 1 belt. So considering they're not unified, they're just on the same person. You can make it to where Seth tells the announcer he's cashing in for the WWE title, and then obviously he announces he cashing in for the WWE title. Match goes on for maybe 2 more minutes. Maybe Seth gets hit with maybe a move or 2, and then obviously have him win after they're beat up and battered, bruised up, tired from the match. And I would have Seth win. And hey, to be fair, you could have it to where he pins Brock. I just thought of that. You could have it to where he pins Brock so that Roman's final moment of losing doesn't come yet. I would have Seth pin Brock to win the WWE title, because that way Roman doesn't... See, I just made a situation work. That way Roman doesn't have to lose, like, the first time he's ever lost in like quite some time. The first time he takes a loss, he doesn't have to take 2 pins to lose 2 belts. So I'm actually finding light in this situation. He could pin Brock Lesnar this time. That's how you can switch it up. Because last time he pinned Roman and got the WWE Championship from Brock, you can switch it, have him pin Brock to win after, they're going to make it to where it's like 3 stomps, because they got to overpower Brock. He's going to pin Brock to win the WWE title from Roman. So you can swap it. You can mess it around. You can swap it around a little bit. But that's how I would do it. I would have him pin Brock, get the WWE Championship from Roman, and then Roman's left the Universal title, and he still hasn't gotten pinned. Still hasn't been pinned. So the crowning moment is that he loses the Universal title can still happen. Now, granted, if they're going to have Drew win the belt, which if you think about it, that's about all they can do is have Drew win the belt because they haven't made any other face that strong. And that person was going to be Cody, but things changed. He got injured. That's why I say you got to build at least 5 faces at a time, because like big faces at a time, because if you only build 1 or 2, as we saw, 2 just got injured. 2 big faces just got injured. So this is what I mean by like when you don't build, not just now there's a difference between have faces and build up faces. Like everyone's like Lashley and Styles. Lashley versus Reigns over, or AJ versus Reigns over Lesnar versus Reigns for the 7-time one-on-one competition at SummerSlam. But at the same time, we know they weren't going to give Lashley, and even though you could have built it up, give him a Wardlow type booking, we know they weren't going to do that with Lashley. We know they weren't going to do that with Styles. Match again, the least you could do is have Seth beat, like I said, him. He's going to pin Brock and get the WWE Championship. So that way, Roman still hasn't lost yet, and you can have, and like I said, they got to build Drew up like a Terminator. Like, they have to build this dude up hard, give him a real, like at least 1 to 2 really good feuds. But again, there aren't any like huge heels on SmackDown other than Roman. There aren't any like huge heels. So this is why I say they gotta stop putting their focus on like one person. Drew needs at least 2 big heel storylines in terms of him as obviously as the face going against the heel. 2 big storylines just dominating on SmackDown. Not the whole roster, but like, maybe a few people on the roster, and have him destroy jobbers, because jobbers, everyone's like, oh, well, destroying jobbers, you can't take jobbers seriously. But jobber matches are there so that Ricochet doesn't have to be a jobber. That's what jobbers are for. So you don't have to make people like Ricochet lose even more. So for everyone who's whining about jobbers and how, oh, we can't take a jobber match seriously. Okay, but then you're going to complain if someone like Ricochet is in there getting beat. So calm down. And before everyone thinks there's a wrestling genius, calm down, because you would whine and cry if it was Ricochet getting pinned. But you just said earlier that you can't take him seriously because he's beating a star, or because he's beating jobbers and not a real star. Because I know people will whine about that. Like when Veer, not to go too far, of course, but real quick, when Veer was beating jobbers, everyone was crying. Like some people were crying like, oh, well, I can't take him seriously because he's beating jobbers. Well, duh, because that's better off, because at least jobbers are supposed to lose. That's better off than putting freaking Ziggler in there and Rude to be a jobber, even though they haven't been used well. That's going to eliminate them being a jobber and getting booked like one just to be at Veer or Omos's expense. So for everyone who whines about jobbers, that's still better than freaking some of your favorites getting beat just to put over Omos or Veer. So anyway, but that's how I booked the match. Comment down below how you would book the match, or if you agree with mine. Get a little conversation going for the wrestling side of my channel. But yeah, that's how I do it, man. You can still protect Roman. You could, like I said, you have to have Drew have at least 2 big feuds, like like when he was, like when they built him up towards the 2020 Men's Royal Rumble. That's how they need to build him up really good going into Clash of the Castle, because this is the only way people can accept Drew beating Roman as the crown, because again, haven't built up any other face, and then the face they were going to use in Cody to beat him for one of the belts, he's out of commission, and he's most likely going to win the Rumble. So I would have 2 big feuds for Drew going into Clash of the Castle, because that match is already set in stone. So going into Clash of the Castle, I'd have 2 big feuds, really good feuds, and just keep building his momentum so that the crowd can get more over with him. Because yeah, he's liked by the crowd, but you need him like over exaggerated, liked by the crowd, like in a huge way, so that more and more people can buy into him winning. And they could like, you know, be a more and more people. You want, I mean, I'm talking, you want, because this Roman's a big heel, so you want like at least 90% of the crowd to be like all for Drew winning the belt if you're gonna make this believable and come off believable. But that's all I had to say. I know most likely Cody is gonna win the Rumble if he, you know, because he's most likely gonna return by then. So I know it would most likely end up being Cody versus Seth 4. But I feel like there's a way you can make that interesting. I personally said to, you know, maybe you could do like 3 stages of hell type match or whatever like that. I think you could potentially do that. And even though it's going to be them going against each other for the 4th time, storyline wise, the last time we saw Cody, he got hit with the sledgehammer by Rollins. So technically it would come full circle. Like Cody still ended up, even after getting out of commission, Cody still got the last laugh. So you can make it make sense a little bit. And then you could use this to fuel Rollins' heel character by just sending him down a rabbit hole and how he's just out of it. And like he's just gone all types of crazy, beating up people backstage on Raw the next week after that Mania because he's just so upset that he can't get the last laugh going against Cody and just lost to him 4 times. That's even more than you would usually have a match with someone. It's usually 3, but he got beat 4 times. But that was my booking on it. If you thought it could use some work, you could say why. I'm all, don't care about opinions. We just want statistics and facts to back it up in terms of, don't care about opinions in terms of if you have something, if you have a different perspective, I don't like to say opinions. If you have a different perspective from mine, that's fine. Put in the comments how you would have done it. But love you if you made it this far. Love you if you even watched a second of the video. But you real for that if you watched it all the way. But had to make this video for y'all, man. Love being on YouTube. We're gonna keep doing this until it's over. Love you guys. Prodigy's out. Peace.